We are on location in Prince George this morning with Holly Keech, local business owner, entrepreneur, mother, and recent winner of the Chamber of Commerce Excellence in Promotion and Marketing.
Yeah.
So Holly, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great that you could come on.
Yeah.
So we were just talking kind of behind the scenes, behind the camera a little bit about just kind of recently meeting for the first time.
Yes. Yeah.
And then anytime we'd be at an event after that, we'd always kind of bump into each other. So
Yeah.
it's kind of funny when you don't really know a person until you start recognizing their face at a bunch of different events and stuff.
Yeah.
So-
Especially in our line of work, we're often kind of behind the scenes, lurking in the shadows, right, with our cameras. So, yeah.
Always lurking in the shadows
Always,
for me. That's
yeah.
what I do. I'm like, I don't like the attention. I don't like being out in front.
Yeah.
And actually, I'll just start off with one of my stories, a funny story. Alex McKenzie, local comedian, he hired me to do kind of a behind the scenes of one of his shows. What do those look like, right? But from backstage.
Yeah.
So he said, yeah, I want you to do this, I want you to do that, and follow me around and all this. And I was like, yeah, that'll be cool. And then kind of like 5 minutes before he walked out on stage, he's like, oh, and I want you to follow me out on stage and get a shot walking around me so you can have the whole audience in the background. And I was just like, what? Like, I don't want to be
I'm
on
not
stage.
prepared for this.
Yeah. I don't want to do that. There were like 1,000 people there. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's just, myself. It's not something that I do easily.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Working on that, but
Yeah. That's where we're most comfortable, right? Is kind of behind the scenes, putting others in the spotlight. That's our job, right?
For sure. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your business. I'd like to hear from your kind of point of view, because I know a little bit about it, but I want to hear your story of starting Busy Boss Communications.
Yeah. Well, I guess first of all, Busy Boss, we're called Busy Boss Communications because we work with busy organizations and busy leaders to help execute the marketing tasks that they just don't have the time or the expertise or the staffing or the capacity to handle in-house, so that their teams and their personnel can do their jobs, what they're meant to do, and we focus on keeping their brand visible and consistent and growing online. So that's kind of what Busy Boss is. My story?
Yeah.
Is that what? Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know your story about starting it.
So it's been about 6 years now. I originally came from sort of a finance and marketing kind of background. I was working full time, and this was like 2018, 2019, and then I got pregnant and had my daughter, and it very soon after I came back to my job after maternity leave, it became clear to me that kind of work schedule just wasn't going to mix well with the responsibilities of being a parent. As every parent knows, it's the struggle of daycare and the pickup and drop off hours, and the kind of job I was in. I was working early, till late at night. I was working weekends, and thinking of what am I going to do with my daughter, and she was 1 at the time. Dropping her off at daycare, picking her up after, or what am I going to do for school? School starts at 8:30, it's over at 2:30. I work till 6. Sick days, spring break, summer vacation, all that. It kind of hit me after I had my daughter, and I just realized that lifestyle of like that really career-oriented kind of workaholic type of schedule just wasn't going to fit, right? So I kind of started thinking about what am I going to do? I gotta pivot, right? And sort of thought about, I was doing marketing kind of off the side of my desk. Finance was my primary role, and I was doing the marketing and social media for the company I worked for, sort of off the side of my desk. And I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. And, thought maybe that's something I could make a career out of. And then COVID happened. This was March of 2020. I was only back at work for a few months after maternity leave, and you know, I kind of took it as a bit of a sign from the universe that this is, you know, the universe saying that I should leave and go and start this thing. So yeah, so that's kind of what I did, and took that opportunity to stay home with my daughter, especially during those initial first few months of COVID when everything was really kind of uncertain, a little scary, and especially with a newborn. So yeah, I left my job and decided that I was gonna figure something out and pivot my career a little bit, and stayed home with her for a few months, started freelancing, just doing a little bit of freelance work for clients here and there that fit within my, you know, mom schedule, the parent schedule. And yeah, it kind of just turned slowly over time. This was 5-6 years ago now, kind of turned into a larger business. My daughter's 7 now, and you know, she's at school for 6 hours a day, right? So I've got more time during the day to take on client work. And what started out as just freelancing kind of turned into a full-blown business. And here we are. And it's great to be able to build something that's flexible, that I can make my own schedule on my own terms, that fits around that lifestyle of being a parent first, because that is the most important thing, you know, at the end of the day. As much as I love what I do, you know, my daughter comes first. So it's being able to be there for, you know, to take her to piano lessons, you know, in the afternoon, or to stay home with her if there's a sick day, or, you know, summer vacation, that kind of thing. Just being around, being able to walk her to school every morning and not have to rush to work, to be there at 8 o'clock on the dot, kind of thing. It's so great to be flexible and to be able to build a career out of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
To me too, that's one of the most important things, is like family first.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But getting into this business at the start of COVID, there must have been some challenges there.
You know, I know so many people, COVID was just such an awful time for so many people, but for me, it really was this opportunity that totally shaped where I was going and totally shaped my business. You know, like Zoom, I think, was around, like the virtual meetings, it was around before that, but it wasn't really widely used. And it just completely took off right after COVID out of necessity, people having to meet, you know, virtually and doing that kind of stuff, right? So I don't know that I would have been able to start my business to the capacity, or I guess the dynamic of how my business operates, that business structure, without those more like virtual business institutions that were implemented during and after COVID. And it was challenging to some degree, you know, like everyone, there was that social distancing and all that was happening. But it allowed me to not feel guilty about staying home with my daughter, for one, for the first, I don't know how long that was, 6 months, a year, you know, post-COVID, and be able to do things virtually and online. And it kind of just became the norm. And yeah.
With stuff like Zoom and stuff, were you really involved in a lot of those meetings virtually? Like, so you were at home and you were meeting with your clients?
Yeah, and honestly, that's probably 80% of what I do is still virtual meetings.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I never do virtual meetings.
Oh.
I would so rather just say, hey, let's go grab a coffee somewhere.
And you know, and that's great. The last couple of years, it's really, I've been getting out in the community more in the last couple of years as well, that kind of we're past that COVID kind of era, right? Like we had the ups and downs with COVID, and there was, you know, times where we were social distancing more or less. But yeah, certainly that's something that's still a huge part of my business. A lot of my clients aren't local. Some of them are across the province. You know, I've got like on Vancouver Island, the Lower Mainland, Okanagan. So it is necessary that I meet with them virtually, because I can't just drive to Victoria to have a meeting with my clients down there, or Kelowna to have my meeting with them, right? So it fits. And yes, I do have virtual meetings with, you know, people locally as well. There is an efficiency factor to it, you know, people are in front of their computers anyway. So it just makes sense to log in and have a quick 15-minute chat and get on the same page and talk about what's upcoming, and then log off and kind of go back to your job. It's more for efficiency sake, I suppose. But it's a good 80-90% of my business is that virtual kind of communication. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some of that work then, because if you have clients in on the island and in Okanagan, I know for myself, the type of work I do, I wouldn't be able to do anything.
Yeah.
I can't do remote work. It just doesn't align with what I do.
Yeah.
So what does the work that you do for these remote clients look like?
Yeah. So our bread and butter basically is social media. So that would be creating content for social media, whether that's marketing and promotions content, maybe it's just like ongoing communication, educating and informing a company's or business's audience about what they do, what their products are, what their services are. So just looking at social media content, that sort of ongoing posting to their socials. So whether that's, Facebook or Instagram, maybe it's TikTok, maybe it's LinkedIn, whatever platforms they have, just ensuring that they are communicating what their company needs to communicate. It might be like what their staff is up to. Maybe it's like an upcoming promotion that's happening or an upcoming event that they're doing, or just entertaining or being silly. Some funny trending videos are always good to do. Just that kind of thing is sort of our bread and butter. So yes, it is better, certainly being local and being able to go down to the business and film content and get to know them in that regard. It's completely doable, especially in this day and age, post-COVID, kind of in that virtual era. Totally doable to be able to do it for clients across the province and beyond even. It involves collaboration, of course. So it involves, like really getting together and planning out what that's going to look like. It involves maybe them being the ones to take photos and share the media and share the content and that kind of stuff. And we just compile it, put it together, and put it out there in a, professional and coherent way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I remember about meeting you early on.
Yeah.
I said, that's what I need, because I end up with so much content, and it's hard enough for me to get it out to my clients on
Right.
time,
Yeah.
let alone now just taking that content and making something for myself.
Yeah.
So
It's so hard.
It's ridiculously
Yeah.
hard. And I remember after you would come down to the park, and
Yeah.
there was the Special Olympics
Yes,
for filming
yeah.
some videos, and you shot some behind the scenes stuff of me doing what I did, and it was so good. It was so cool, and it kind of like I've never had content of me like that before. It's always me trying to show off what I've done, but not me doing what I do,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. And that really helped me see kind of the benefit to that.
Yeah.
And after you had done that, you shared it with me, and then I posted it. It got like awesome engagement online with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I need to do more of this. And then I just stopped again.
It's
right?
so hard. And you're not alone in that. I have a hard time posting to my own socials for my own business. I always say it's like the doctor that smokes, right? Like I always tell my clients, you got to do this, you got to post, you got to create content. You always have to be thinking about taking pictures when you're at this event or doing this thing. And, I go about my life and do my work and everything. And, I forgot to take a picture when I was, with Jeff at the podcast studio, or I forgot to do this, or I forgot to post today. It's, life happens, right? Your business comes first, your client work comes first, right? And that's why it's so important for a lot of small businesses. They just don't have the time. They don't have the capacity, like the staff capacity or sometimes the mental capacity to be able to do that kind of stuff for themselves. And I also find too that, I don't know if you feel this way as well, but it's hard talking about yourself and posting about yourself. It feels kind of weird. It feels kind of icky sometimes, like a weird kind of sales sort of feeling. So that's why it's also great to have someone like a third party come in and do it for you. It's a lot more natural that way.
Yeah, totally. Even when I was talking about going up on stage with Alex,
Yeah.
in the back of my head, I'm like, I sound like I'm bragging that I got to go on stage. Like,
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
right? And so I know exactly what you mean about that. I hate
Yeah.
bragging. But what I find is a lot of valuable content online is people giving away information,
Yeah.
which doesn't actually look like bragging,
Yeah.
right? But it still shows you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, to me, that's a little bit of a sneaky way to brag, I
It's
guess.
great.
You know?
Yeah. It's a way of, yeah, you're giving away information for free, right? You're helping people. You're not doing it in kind of a greasy, like paywall kind of way.
Yeah.
But it's also positioning you as the expert, as the authority in your industry, right? Which helps. Social media is really, it's all about building that trust factor, you know, in all the buying stages. You really want to focus on that middle part. People don't just learn about you and then buy from you 2 seconds later. Not most of the time anyways.
Right.
There's really that middle stage that sometimes takes weeks or months even, and it's that building of the trust. So that's where social media and really any kind of online content comes in, is that it helps position you and your business as an authority, as someone that they can trust and someone that they want to buy from. So when you're talking about, you know, sharing tips and tricks or educating or giving away information for free, then that's really helping your business build that trust between the audience and yourself to make that buying journey a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great answer there.
Yeah.
How do you keep from being too repetitive on social media?
Oh, it's hard. It's hard. I've worked with some of my clients since the very beginning, 5-6 years ago now. And it's something I am constantly thinking about, is not repeating myself and repeating content that I've already done years ago. But on the flip side to that, of course you want to stay fresh and stay with the trends and everything. But, you know, how many businesses do you know that you might be scrolling through Facebook or Instagram and you're going to say, they did that post a year and a half ago?
Oh yeah, never.
Never. No one's going to know.
Yeah.
You know, it's 99% of people that are scrolling through social media are going to glimpse your post for 3 to 5 seconds, quickly read it, and then keep scrolling and move on with their lives, right?
Yeah.
Only me and you as the business owner are the only ones that are going to know that we posted that same thing a year and a half ago or 6 months ago or 3 months ago even. You know, it's really not that big of a deal to repeat things. And you can always just position it differently. You know, maybe you have a couple photos that you wanted to share as a photo 6 months ago. And then you're like, I'm going to think about what can I do for content this month. Maybe I'll take those same photos I shared 6 months ago and change them, put them into a video. Just a bit of a different perspective, a different spin on it, a different format of media for people to consume. Some people prefer looking at photos online on social media. Some people prefer watching videos online. So you might hit a totally different crowd of people the second time you share it as a video format versus the first time you shared it as photo format. So there's a few different ways to kind of do that and make sure that you're staying fresh, you know, and not just kind of sharing the same message again and again. And yeah.
And I guess, I mean, even that repetitiveness isn't bad, because when you see
It's
a
not.
real ad, you've got to see it a few times.
You
right?
do,
Yeah.
yeah. What's that statistic where they say that you have to have, is it 6 touch points or 9 touch points, I think, with a potential customer before they actually remember who you are, before it kind of gets through their brain that, hey, maybe I should buy from this person, maybe I should remember their brand name. It takes several touch points at least. So while it might seem to us that we're being kind of cringy by, you know, posting the same thing and continuing to share something again and again and again, to us it seems weird because we're aware of it and it's our business. But to the audience who's just scrolling thousands of things on social media in any given day, it's necessary to get those necessary touch points. Yeah.
What are your favorite things to kind of do to maintain those touch points, or to kind of get those touch points out there and see?
Oh, yeah. You know, I think it's about having a variety of different content. I like having a mix of things and not just keeping the old same stagnant kind of approach. I really, really like doing sort of the more entertaining, humorous kind of videos, like the trending Instagram reels, the trending TikTok, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen
Yeah.
stuff
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I spend my time is
Yeah.
I
Most people.
I want to kill time watching those videos and kind of like
Yeah.
getting that little bit of entertainment.
Yeah.
The ones I hate the most
What's that?
is when it's like 8 o'clock at night and you're sitting down to relax and you're just chilling out and you're watching TV and they got those Big Mac commercials and then an Egg McMuffin commercial comes on and it's like it's 8 o'clock and then by 9 o'clock, 9:30, all you can think about is that cheeseburger.
Yeah, that's how the algorithm works, It's very smart, it's very sophisticated these days.
Yeah.
And it gets you. You watch one, food talk video of someone making like preparing a delicious meal, and then the next 10 videos you see are just more and more food content, or you can go down rabbit holes of things so quickly.
Yeah.
Once the algorithm is like, oh, you like this, hey, well, I'm gonna keep showing you more content just like that, right? Which is great if you're interested or you're researching something. If you want to go travel somewhere and you're like, oh, what's Paris like in April? I'm going to go find out and search. And then the next thing you know, you see 20 videos about what to do in Paris back to back, right?
So you can use it in your own favor.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the idea behind organic social media content, is that these algorithms at TikTok, at Instagram, and so on, determine what you're interested in by your past actions. So the videos that you've liked, videos that you've commented on, what your friends are interested in, what are the pages you follow, what are the things that you're talking about online. It's a little creepy.
Yeah, the algorithm knows me so well. Like I can look at a camera. It actually won't even show me camera brands that I'm not even familiar with and stuff. But I will see something will come up, like one of these, microphones or something. I was like, yeah, that's exactly the microphone that I would buy or would want.
It's creepy, It's like, is this my phone listening to me all the time?
I know that too.
But at the same time, it's like, well, it just made my life easier by showing me something that I was thinking about buying. But and that's the great thing, on the other hand, about doing ads, social media ads, paid ads. So there's organic social media content, which relies on the algorithm to show it to who it determines wants to see it and who is going to benefit from seeing that content. And then there's, of course, paid social media, where you can be boosting posts that you've posted on organic, or you can just be doing paid social media campaigns as well on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or LinkedIn. And that's a great way to get in front of people based on what their interests are, based on their demographic, based on where they live or who they're friends with or what pages they follow and that kind of thing.
Sounds like you're familiar with it.
Yes.
So you do targeted advertising?
I do, yeah. So like I said, social media is kind of our bread and butter. That's the core of what we do, because that's what benefits most small businesses. That's what they want to focus on with their digital marketing. But then we also supplement and add on top of that. We do email campaigns, so email marketing, newsletters, that kind of thing, to be able to reach your audience directly to their inbox and send them the most up-to-date and current information about the business, the products, the services, that kind of thing. So that's a supplement that we add onto our social media packages, as well as paid advertising. So on Meta, Facebook, Instagram, on TikTok, LinkedIn, what have you. And it's a great way to supplement your organic social media strategy, rather than spending all that time and effort putting together social media and then throwing it out there and just letting the algorithm decide who to show it to. Having those additional components of like the email marketing to reach your customers directly, and then having the paid social ads to target demographics of new customers and kind of bring them into your zone, your business. It's a really great strategy to have all of those three things working together. So that's kind of what we focus on.
Does email advertising, like email marketing and stuff, does that still work nowadays?
Oh my gosh, it's the best. It has the highest ROI, return on investment, out of, I think, the most forms of marketing. I think like for every dollar you spend on email marketing, it's a $6 ROI. So it's a 6x return on investment.
What?
Yeah.
Man,
It's crazy.
I'm asking because I pull up my phone in the morning. I'm like, delete. I'm just
And
going through.
yeah,
Like,
granted, it have to be hitting the right audience, and there's certain things that you need to be doing to manage your email campaigns and ensuring that you're not sending 5 emails a week. That I do the same thing. I unsubscribe to emails all the time because they're frustrating. But doing it in a way, being strategic about it, doing it in a way that is not going to annoy people or just spam their inbox. I mean, there's legislation around this. The Canadian anti-spam legislation is in place for a reason, that you're not just getting spammed, that you're not emailing people that didn't give you explicit consent to be signed up to your email list. There's a lot of really strict legislation around it that businesses have to adhere to. But where was I going with this? It is
a return on investment.
The return on investment. Yeah. It's fantastic. I wish I had some more stats at on the top of my mind, but yeah, it's $6 for every $1 spent, I think, is the average return on investment. And the beautiful thing about email marketing, email campaigns that I like is that, you're reaching an audience that's already warm to you. They're already aware of you as a business. They have that knowledge of you. So it's not like a cold audience.
Okay.
So for that reason alone, it's a more highly effective form of marketing. And then to be able to actually get that data immediately after you send the email. So I'll send an email out to one of my clients has a subscriber list of about like 10,000 people, let's say. Customers from over the last 10 years, they've acquired a customer list of say 10,000 people, and we'll send a monthly email out about a promotion that's going on. Save 10% on this or get a 2-for-1 deal or something like that, just whatever their monthly promotion is. And we'll send that out to the 10,000 customers. And pretty much within, like 5 to 7 days, I can look back at that email to see how effective it was. And if your email marketing software is connected to your point of sale system, so often businesses will use like Square or something like that, PayPal or whatever, as their point of sale system for booking appointments, for e-commerce, for buying online products, something like that. Maybe they're using Shopify. If that's connected, then you can actually go in and see how effective that campaign has been in dollars. So you can go back 7 days later and say, I made $4,732 from this one email.
Wow. With maybe a $400 budget to
Exactly.
start.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. And those people have all signed up to receive the email.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they must be offering something that entices the person to give them their email address, then, right?
Yeah, there's lots of different ways you can do it. A lot of businesses will do it at the time of sale. So when that person first books an appointment with them, if they become a customer, then they get added to the email list. Of course, they have to check the box and understand that they're consenting to be added to their email list, to be informed of the latest updates or, communications that business is putting out there. There's ways that you could do it with what's called a lead magnet. Some people call it like a freebie, something like that. It might be offering, I don't know, let's say sign up to our email list and get 20% off your next purchase with the coupon code or something, right? I don't know if anyone's ever shopped at, like the Body Shop or like something, like any kind of online store. You see the pop-up come up on the website when you go to shop.
Yeah.
And it says, sign up and get 10% off, sign up and get 20% off. And then you enter in your email address and they give you the 10% off coupon. That's another way to do it. Of course, you can immediately unsubscribe after that, after you've then used that coupon. Some people do, some people don't. If you want to continue being a customer and continue finding out, what's new, what's the latest promotions, that kind of thing. Other ways that people do it is just by collaborating with other businesses and kind of cross-promoting each other's email lists. There's a number of ways to get people onto your email list, but as long as you have that explicit and informed consent, which is built into most email marketing software, most providers have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting because one of the things I'm really interested in, and I do a lot, is like online learning,
Mm-hmm.
like just learning lighting, audio, creating visual effects and software, editing tutorials, stuff like that I really use all the time. So I'm constantly watching videos online of people that teach that kind of stuff. And now that you tell me about lead magnets, I know exactly what's happening,
Yeah.
because they're like, hey, did you like this video? Well, I got an exclusive video that's not on YouTube, but just, enter your email address, I'll send you a link to it, and it's 10 minutes of like, high-end editing content. And so I punch my email address in, I get the video, and I watch it, and I'm like, yeah. But then every week or so, you get another kind of little update, like, here's this, here's that, here. And a couple of times I actually have ended up purchasing from those companies, because I felt like I just got so much value from those emails to start with.
Yeah.
Whatever they're offering must be just phenomenal.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Crazy.
And a lot of people will use their email list not just as like a promotion. A lot of people do the promotion thing and then they get a lot of unsubscribes. But going back to what you said about kind of that educating for free, sharing that valuable content for free, you can use your email newsletter to do that as well.
Oh, yeah.
By sharing that information, using it as just sort of a weekly publication to, give free information and to give value to your list so that they don't unsubscribe, so that they see value in it, and then eventually they will become a customer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, do you have any stories of stuff like success stories of clients that you've helped? You don't have to mention who the client is unless you want to, but yeah, I'd like to hear kind of changes that have happened.
Oh my
anything like
goodness. I've had so many, and I always kick myself that I'm just always so excited to start working with a client, especially a client who's really starting from scratch, that doesn't really have anything yet. I'm always so excited to start working with them that I never really take a snapshot of where they are, where they started from, before I start working with them. So I really got to start doing that more. But, I do really love working with clients where I can see that result. Like I mentioned with the email marketing, I can show my client and say, hey, you earned $4,000 from this one email in appointments booked or in products sold or something like that. I love being able to show that. It's a little harder to do that with social media because there's not really, you don't see that return on investment immediately with social media that you do with other forms like paid ads or email. But I do a lot of event marketing, which is fun, and you typically see the return on that a lot quicker in the form of like ticket sales and bums in seats on the event, that kind of thing. So like ones that we've worked at together, the Northern Angel Summit just recently, that's a fun one. A few conferences, I've done a few of those Leap for Women conferences here in town, a lot of the online ads, the social media promotion, a lot of like the design work, the marketing materials, the website creation, kind of the whole range of it. And that's always really, really fun to see the impact and to see the people buying the tickets and coming to the event and having a good time.
Yeah.
And then one that I have right now that I do every year, kind of as a pro bono work, is the Kiwanis Ale Fest fundraiser every year. So that's an annual fundraiser put on by the Kiwanis Club here in Prince George, which I'm a part of. And I do all the marketing communications for that annual event, which is wildly popular. So it's an enormous event every year. It's like 1,200 plus people, I think, over 2 days. And
And it's a fun event to go to, right?
Yeah.
You got the breweries from all around the region come and they sample a bunch of their stuff. And I myself, I'm not a beer drinker at all. Like I never drink beer unless that's all there is, or I'm offered one and I don't want to be rude. But Kiwanis, it was so fun. I went last year and went with a buddy of mine, and it was just fun going around and just meeting the people who wanted you to taste what they've made.
Yeah.
Taste their product, right?
Yeah. There's so much passion. And we often have about 20 or so breweries from really all over the province now. It started with just like kind of local northern BC, and it's grown. This year we've got breweries coming in from all over, like as far down as like Trail, I think, the Okanagan, everywhere. And there's just so much passion there. And it's not just beer too. There's also food. We have local restaurants that bring the most delicious food for free. Once you are in, you eat as much food as you want for free. There's also non-alcoholic options as well.
Oh,
Yeah, but the big thing with that event is the money it raises, which is so great, seeing the results of all your effort, of all your labor that you put in for months and months trying to get this event to happen, and marketing it and promoting it and watching tickets sell, and then being able to raise funds. We raised almost $100,000 last year, just last year alone. And it's really wonderful to be able to see that go back into the community. And it goes directly to children's charities in the form of grants. We have a grant program every year. It goes back into the community in the form of like capital projects. We work with Spirit of the North. So much great stuff.
Yeah. It's a great event, great group of people. It's what I find about Prince George is like the people that are working on all these fundraisers and these organizations they're like really good people that want to make a difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so success stories here. I want to talk about something more negative now.
Oh.
And I know you're not prepared for this, and it's okay. Have you ever had to like fire a client because, potentially, their values didn't align with yours, or yeah?
I've gotten better at it. Certainly when I first started, you're kind of, I don't want to say desperate to work with anybody, but there's less of that setting boundaries when you first start, I think, which is common for any business and anyone starting. And sometimes you just say yes to work because you're just excited to work with someone. You're excited to work with a business. And there have been instances for sure where it became pretty clear right away that values just were not aligning. I always try to do things very open and honest and transparent and above board, and that's just where I feel comfortable working in that space. And there are places, unfortunately, there always is in business, that just don't align with that value set that I have. And there's people that I've started working with where we've had to part ways pretty quickly right off the bat. This was years ago. Now I am better at saying no to things, and it's still really hard to do. I don't know if you struggle with that too, where you get, you requests, and I struggle saying no. I really struggle saying no to things because it's why I started my business. I just want to help people. I want to make our community great. I want to contribute to the community and contribute to the businesses in this community. And it is hard to say no, for sure, but I think I do a lot better now at recognizing that. I have a pretty robust onboarding and like interview process, so I really only now work with clients that really kind of align with my values and that I think would be a good fit, a good relationship. But that being said, 99% of my clients are just fantastic. Like I said, I've worked with some of them for like 5-6 years now, and we've had these ongoing long-term relationships. And a lot of my client work is based on referrals. So a lot of my new clients that I get are based on referrals from my existing clients or my past clients that refer people to me. So, yeah.
That's good. Yeah, that referral. I mean, another shout out to Prince George, right?
Yeah.
For people here. But
yeah.
I don't advertise. I don't market. Like talking about social media, I don't get out there as much as I definitely should be. But I haven't found that I've needed to. Because you work with one great organization, they refer you to another and another, and
exactly.
And those are people who are definitely like can't say no to type people. Like for me anyway. United Way calls up and there's, we need something. It's like,
of course,
they're gonna get it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna say no.
Yeah.
Right? It's not gonna happen.
Yeah. That's the beauty about living in a smaller community like Prince George, a smaller city, is that it is very tight-knit. Especially our business community here is very tight-knit. A lot of people know each other and have worked around each other before. So you have to promote yourself less, or you don't have to promote yourself as much. In a smaller community like this, you can rely on kind of that network and those referrals, which is great.
Yeah. I noticed something else, I don't know if it was just a social media post that you posted or commented on, but it was around the topic of you working with women or female entrepreneurs about empowering women in business or about teaching or training.
Yeah.
What's that about? I didn't really get a good
So
idea.
I also, one of the many other things that I do, I'm also the regional ambassador for WeBC. WeBC is a provincial nonprofit, formerly known as Women's Enterprise Center. So it's a little bit like what a local community futures office does, but it's a provincial nonprofit that focuses on working with women and providing them the services and the support and the training and the financial support that they need in order to start a business or grow a business. So WeBC works with women entrepreneurs like at the startup stage of their business, whether maybe they're in the growth stage, maybe they're applying for a loan. They supply women with financial loans as well. And a lot of like mentorship, training, things like that. So I'm really proud to work with that organization because they are so fundamental to supporting women in business and women entrepreneurs in our province. I'm so passionate about it. I used their services when I started my business. Years ago now, I joined their peer mentorship program. I downloaded a lot of their online resources of, how to start a business, or, what to do, and like what are the first steps that you should do. Excuse me. Just one sec.
No, I just wanted to bring that up because I had mentioned it or I had seen the post for it, and I thought this is something really interesting, and I just kinda wanted to kind of get you to talk about it. I didn't realize that you use the services, so again, that's something nice about being able to, you took advantage of it early on, and now you're giving back.
It's so great. It's, I'm really passionate about being able to bring those services to the north, because sometimes I feel like Prince George and northern BC, I guess, as a whole, seems very disconnected from the lower mainland and all the services and supports that are available down there. We're often kind of like, we get left out a little bit, right? Yeah. So when they asked me to be the regional ambassador in our area, in our region, Prince George in the north, for WeBC, I thought this is a great opportunity to help connect women up here to the services and supports that are available in the larger centers that they might not be aware of. Maybe these are things that could help them in starting their business or scaling their business, that they currently don't have access to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Any success stories there that you can talk about, or?
Oh, well, myself, for one, yeah.
It's just like a startup. Like it just gives you a boost to kind of get going.
A little bit of a boost, yeah. So it's whether it's training, there's a lot of it's at no cost to these women too, which is great because it is federally funded. It's a federally funded program. So you can access training online. It's in accounting, human resources, operations, marketing, things like that. Yeah. And for free, like online training. You can be paired up with a mentor, someone to help kind of guide you and help you make business decisions, that kind of thing. They do peer mentorship programs as well. They do lots of community events and partner with different organizations, whether that's like a local community futures or a chamber of commerce or business development center, something like that, to help bring more local awareness and create these local events that people can come to and connect and network. And then loans, of course. So giving these loans to help women, whether it's starting a business, whether maybe it's like buying equipment for their business or hiring people or growing their business. Just supporting them kind of all around. It's more of like a wraparound service, being there with them from the start kind of to the finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once they do get started, do you kind of help them kind of keep going too, like personally?
Not personally. I do like to connect with them, so I try to get out in the community and do like networking events and just kind of be that face to represent the organization. And then if people have questions, they can come and ask me, they can email me, message me, that kind of thing. And just being out there and kind of offering support where I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
if someone were to come to you
Yeah.
and said, hey, Holly, I got this business, it's just really not doing too well, what would be your first kind of advice that you would give to kind of start moving forwards a little bit?
Yeah. I would, right off the bat, probably suggest getting connected with like a business advisor, business analyst, that kind of thing. So a few different places that you can go to, depending on the nature of your business. You know, if you're a woman entrepreneur, woman business owner, then WeBC has business advisors that you can connect with free of cost and ask questions and kind of figure out what the next steps are, you know, get their advice. You know, if you're just like a local business, Community Futures is a great resource for that. A big shout out to them. They're one of my clients that I work with. Always got to promote them. They have business analysts and people coaching. They do coaching and advisory services there that they can kind of steer you on the right path and let you know what the next steps are, what you should do. Maybe it's you're just wanting to sell a business, or maybe you want to buy a business, or you know you want to look at your finances, things like that. Maybe you're a tech business. You know, we were talking about tech businesses in the north a little bit earlier. Northern Innovation Network is a great resource for that. Reaching out to them, they have many different programs that can help mentor you and guide you and bring you to that next phase of your business. So there's so many resources out there. And mentorship programs too. There's tons of mentorship programs.
Yeah, and you know, you mentioned a lot of those organizations. I've only recently heard of a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like Northern Innovation Network was
formerly Hubspace.
Yeah,
they just
Hubspace,
rebranded, I think, at the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're my
Yeah.
client too, so of course I have to shout out to them.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mary there is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, those organizations are always out there to help, and a lot of people just don't know about them. They just
Yeah.
need, that
Yeah.
little bit of a kickstart, right?
Yeah, and you know what's great actually too, the Chamber of Commerce is just putting together this program. I don't know if you've heard of it, the Exchange. Brand new
No.
program. I'll send you the link to it later.
Okay.
It's a way to kind of bring all those services together, because I think that was the problem that they identified in a lot of our sort of northern communities. We're not connected and people aren't aware of these services that exist as much as they could be. So it's a way to kind of bring them all together and in a place that's visible for people to see right in front of them what these services are, how they can access them, how they can benefit them, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's so important. Networking is key, right?
Oh, it's so key. And it was
Yeah.
really hard during COVID times to be able to do that, right? So we're really, just in the last couple of years, kind of getting back into that networking, right? That kind of person-to-person events and meeting and, yeah.
Okay. That being said, what are some of your favorite things to do in, as far as work? Like,
Yeah.
let's talk work.
Yeah.
Let's talk work. If you have to sit down at your computer
Yeah.
and you're like, yes, I get to work on blank, what is it?
Oh, I have the most boring answer. I am one of those people that is like a jack of all trades, or Jill of all trades, I guess I should say. I like doing everything. There's nothing that I don't like to do. You know how there's some people that are like, I don't like doing my books, doing my accounting, my bookkeeping. I don't like doing this. I don't like, answering emails. I like doing everything. I'm a little bit of a nerd that way. Maybe if I had to choose one, I like editing videos. I was at a client location before I came here today filming videos for TikTok on my phone.
Oh, okay.
And, being there, working with people, working with clients. And you probably enjoy this in your line of work as well, but saying kind of, go here, do this, and just kind of setting up that shot, creating sort of that whole video concept and coming up with that idea and then going back and editing it. It's so fun to be a part of that and to see the result of that after the fact, right? To see what comes out of that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, posting it on social media and seeing the likes and the comments and all that good stuff. It's a really good feeling too. But
Yeah.
the creative side of it is always fun. But I'm a nerd, so I like everything.
You like everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about graphic design?
Yeah.
Do you do that?
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah. Brochures?
Brochures. I have designed everything from like digital ads, you know, little small digital ads you'll see on your computer screen or your phone, to like large digital billboards or large static billboards that you see on the highway, brochures, posters, anything you can think of, little cards, like.
You ever
Yeah.
make a mistake?
Oh, constantly,
Like, yeah.
constantly, yeah.
Yeah.
But I have a very thorough approval process.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, but you know, it's one of those things where you stare at things. You probably know this too in your line of work, where you stare at something for a couple of hours and you start to go cross-eyed a little bit.
Yeah.
And you know that everything starts looking a little funny. So making sure that we're getting that client approval at the end of the day and that second pair of fresh eyes to look at it before it goes out is really important. And then, yeah, 99.9% of the time, there's mistakes just don't see the light of day. They're usually caught, but
Yeah.
yeah.
You ever have to like take a breather to kind of step away from something because you're spending too much time in it? Maybe the color's not right or the message isn't right. And
Oh, certainly.
kinda-
You know, there's times where, and I like to do things pretty efficiently and pretty fast. That's just how my brain functions. But there's times where I'm working on something and I just go for it and I get it done and I put it out there and it's posted. And then I come back the next day and I look at it and I'm like, there's 5 or 6 things on here that I could have done better just by looking at it the next day. But, that's not, we're not doing an ad for the Super Bowl, right? We're not doing an ad that's going to go in Times Square for 6 weeks or something. It's a social media post. It's going to have a lifespan of about 47 minutes and then be gone, right? So you can't put too much pressure on yourself, and you can't put too much emphasis on making sure everything is perfectly right. The quality is 99%, and I think that's great.
Yeah.
Right.
That was one thing I noticed about that Angel Summit you had mentioned. Is we were both there, and you were walking around getting shots. I was walking around getting shots.
Yeah.
But you had already published video content before I had even gotten all the files off the memory cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do
So,
fast. It's
you're
social
fast.
media.
You're
Yeah.
fast. Yeah. That kind of stuff. When you're working on stuff like that, I know for myself, I cannot put it out right away.
Oh,
I
yeah.
need to look at it the next morning.
Yeah.
Right. So I have people that I make kind of wait a little while.
Yeah.
Sometimes longer than they want to wait.
Yeah.
Because I find the same thing. Like you say, there's always a little detail. There's something there that's just not quite right. And,
Yeah.
You got the eye for it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can see it. The client probably never does.
No.
So-
Yeah. And it's about expectations. Of course, I want the quality to be the best possible quality. But then you also have to understand what your platform is that you're posting it on, what the audience is, right? Social media is meant to be a little rough around the edges. You don't want something that is extremely polished on social media all the time, because what ends up happening is the audience on the other side of the phone, when they're watching it, it immediately comes across to them as an ad, as someone is selling something. It's not as organic and natural and authentic as it could be if it's a little bit more rough, a little less polished, a little sort of spur of the moment. That's kind of what people really want to see, because there's more of that impression of oh, I'm not selling something to you, I'm just posting this for fun, and we're both humans here kind of communicating with each other. The less polished it is often, the better. Of course you want it to be a certain quality. You don't want to be posting some blurry, dark image or something like that, but it's about finding that really good balance where it meets the brand quality standards while still being kind of organic and relatable enough, and authentic enough that it's not turning people away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I've gone to a couple events, most recently, with just my phone, just for that reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've thought man, I can shoot this on a camera, on a gimbal, and have a bunch of gear and stuff, and maybe even bring a light and light it right. But you lose that in the moment feeling of it, of
You
what
do,
it was actually
yeah.
like to be there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I just kind of probably the last 3 sort of medium-sized events I went to, I just brought my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was perfect because then it was on my phone. I could edit it on my phone and I could put it out right now.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
I think it's just about taking that pressure off, and which is hard for me to do. I'm a perfectionist in everything, and it's sometimes difficult to kind of to do that without taking it home first and really scrutinizing it and doing it absolutely perfectly. But I've gotten better at it over the years. I'm more of like a done is better than perfect kind of person.
You know, I've kind of changed my philosophy on that too. It was like, I heard somebody say, don't let perfection get in the way of good enough.
Yeah.
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 And I know for myself, posting content, if I wait to make this little video of me shooting something in the house, it's not going to get out.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like if I'm doing something for Hospice Society and they've
Yeah.
got that beautiful house and it needs to be perfect, it's not going to get out if I just keep going, right?
It's the most frustrating thing with social media too, I find, is that you can spend hours crafting the perfect social media post, just making it this beautiful cinematic thing and that you're so proud of, and that you post it and you're waiting and it's just crickets.
Yeah,
right?
I hate that.
And then you can just, on a whim, on a Wednesday, you take a video of your dog chasing his tail in the backyard or doing something, and you post it, and then it's like 10,000 likes. You're like, what am I doing wrong here, right?
Yeah.
But it's just, you're at the whim of the algorithm every day, and it's just, well, what do people want to see, right? The world can be a little bleak at times, especially lately, and sometimes it's nice to see things that are just relatable.
Yeah.
And authentic and funny, and you want to be light. Yeah.
Yeah. And even this conversation,
Yeah.
we're talking about marketing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I imagine some people will get value out of it and a lot of people will be like, this is boring.
Yeah.
Right? Right? I mean,
Fair enough.
yeah. So we've been talking for about an hour.
Yeah.
Last thoughts. Anything you want to say to, people that maybe need that extra little bit of social media and they want to say, hey, I should give Holly a call and see what she could do for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
What's your 30-second elevator pitch?
Oh, goodness gracious. I think, well, it obviously depends what stage of business you're at, where, what kind of support you need, but there's absolutely a service there that I offer for every level of support that someone might need, for every stage of business that they're at, whether that's just helping on like a simple coaching call, doing some sort of like consulting or training. I do a lot of like live kind of over Zoom, of course, right? The virtual calls, do a lot of live stuff like that. We're just coaching, answering questions, providing feedback, advice, that kind of thing. And that's really great for some people who are just kind of starting out, or DIY, doing it yourself kind of social media stuff. And then there's things like audits and strategy. I do a lot of audits, like complete online audit of your brand. So like looking at how your brand shows up on Google and search engines, looking at your website, how effective it is. SEO audits might look like just how your brand is being represented online. Like do you have the same logo in all the different places? Do you have the same kind of messaging, the same overall sort of brand look that's cohesive, that's just presenting the same message and sharing the message that you want to share with the audience online? I really love a good audit because it really breaks down sort of where you're at right now at that stage of your business. And it's a really great way to say, okay, here I am, here's what I can fix, here's what I can focus on to move forward. And then of course my main packages would be the sort of done for you social media content. So that's like monthly packages where we offer social media content, whether it's like, posting 3 times a week or 4 times a week or 5 times a week or whatever. We work with you, we plan ahead, we come up with a schedule, we do the content, we post it to your socials for you, send you reports of how it's doing, and then of course we can add on email campaigns on top of that to reach your email list and see those really great ROI and those conversions. We can add advertising on top of that, the meta ads, the LinkedIn, TikTok, all that kind of stuff on top of that as well. So it's really a full scope. There's something there for everyone at every stage of business.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way?
Yeah, my website is busyboss.ca, and they can email me at holly@busyboss.ca.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, thanks.
Awesome chat. I got a lot out of it. Hopefully people watching got a lot out of it.
I hope so too.
Fun to kind of talk about the different different businesses we're involved in.
Yeah.
And,
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
And